Good morning, everyone. As Joanne Sensen just introduced me, I'm Alan Matsui, and I'm a sensei. It kind of feels strange for me still to say that. So much of my life I've been, I'm an accountant, or I'm a CFO, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, but I'm a sensei. So when I say that, I introduce myself that way, people ask, sometimes, I hope, what do you teach? Because a lot of people know the word sensei, and it's kind of nebulous. And I say, I teach people how to appreciate life more. And I think that's what a Konko sensei does. Teaches us how to appreciate life more. Sometimes I get, oh, that's nice, and move on. Sometimes people want to talk about that a little bit, which is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy sharing this faith that we have with other people, because I think what we have here is really special. It's not unique. There's lots of different ways towards appreciating life more, but I think this is a special way, and I think that we have a lot of tradition and family history behind this approach towards appreciating life more. So I want to talk a little bit more about that. And if you want to talk any time, talk about this one-on-one, I'd be more than happy to do that. I really would enjoy that. So thank you. I wanted to talk a little bit about our recent conference. So we had a Konko Churches of North America conference recently in Santa Barbara. I think many of you here were there for that. And so I think from all accounts, people enjoyed that experience. It was the first in-person get-together that we've had in several years because of the pandemic, and so it was great to see people. We had not as many as we used to have, because I think people are still a little bit concerned about COVID or for other reasons, but we had about 70 attendees in person, and it was just, people had a wonderful time seeing each other. Maybe some haven't seen each other for several years. And we had also had, though, some new faces, people who hadn't been to a conference before. And the people that I spoke with about it, who were there for their first time, really, really enjoyed the experience. I think what they really like is, a church is a place to learn about faith, but a church is also a community, a place where like-minded people get together. And I think that's what makes going to these conferences so special, is of course to see familiar old faces, but also to be able to talk in an environment where we can be open and candid about our spiritual side, about our spiritual beliefs, and in a place where, especially at a Konko Church conference, people really try to be non-judgmental. Now, it's not always easy, but in this faith, we really try to accept everyone, that everyone is a child of Kami-sama. And so we were among people who felt that way. And for me personally, some of my most memorable conversations were people who didn't grow up in this faith, but they ended up there for their own personal reasons. Some of them, they married somebody who is a member of this faith. Other people, one person, young person, her boyfriend is a member of this faith. And so it was interesting that their spouses didn't talk about this faith. And in fact, one of them, they'd been married for like 30 years. And the spouse, she mentioned that this is really the first chance that she had to really talk about the Konko faith and about spirituality and about her own spirituality. And she loved it. She says, I can't believe that this has been going on all these years, and it's a chance for me to connect more with my inner self, my inner faith, through talking with other people so openly. And it was a wonderful experience for her. And she's definitely going to be back, and she was a very active participant. One of the nice things about this conference was the structure of it. So there was actually no lecture, no presentation at this conference, but a lot of discussion groups, a lot of chance to just get together, get to know some other people better, and just talk with each other. And there were meaningful conversations that people got out of it. And so that's sort of a commercial for the conference. And we have the conference sort of split up. We have pre-conference events. So the conference itself is a weekend, but we really encourage people of all ages to come a little bit early. And so we have one group who starts on Tuesday. I think that's the youth camp group. And so we had Rodney Sensei and Masashi Kawahatsu leading that group from here. And then we have another group, young adults, so it's a little bit older, ranges from about 18 to 25. And then we have the old folks, and so that's the group that I'm in, and we got together on Thursday. So we really try to have and create an environment where we know that, if you're young, you may not want to talk to somebody your parents' age. You'd rather be with a different group, your own age group. So we try to create that opportunity for you, and we hope everyone can take advantage of these events. So this year's conference, the theme was renew and maintain our relationship with Kami through prayer, sacred mediation, or toritsugi, and teachings. Renew and maintain our relationship with Kami. So I come to realize that in summarizing this faith and in helping people to appreciate life more, it's this relationship with Kami that a lot of our faith centers around. What is Kami? Who is Kami? A lot of open questions about there. Is there a Kami? I've had a lot of these thoughts myself over the years. But by having a relationship with Kami-sama, appreciating the little things in life. This is, for me, there's different ways to do this, no right or wrong. But for me, I try to remember the little things in life and thank Kami-sama for those things. I can say today's a beautiful day, and just that's it. And just take today for granted and not think about it. But if I choose to look at today and this beautiful day as a gift, then when I get a gift, I appreciate that gift. And looking at life this way is one of the ways that this faith helps me to appreciate life more. So just be on the lookout for things that we can appreciate, that we take for granted, but that are so important to us. Our parents' love. That's so precious. Do you take it for granted? Sometimes people think of, and I think of this faith as kind of difficult to explain. And that's when I like to go back to this book, Live with Faith. And you all have a copy in front of you. But in the very beginning, Fukuda Sensei, the founder of the San Francisco Church, says, the Konko faith is an open and broad-minded religion. Our founder taught us, live your life with sincerity, genuine, wholehearted sincerity. So that's what this faith is about. And being appreciative and going through prayers and talking to Sensei, but without feeling it, without meaning it meaningfully, or shortchanging the process. And that, being able to do that and find that sincerity is not an easy thing. It takes practice, and that's why, we have the opportunity to practice that throughout the day, and we encourage people to live sincerely throughout their daily life. Prayer. So I wanted to also talk a little bit about prayer. Today's service is a combination monthly service, and the important part of the service is the monthly memorial service. So what does that mean? we all gathered here today, and then towards the end of the service, we got the tamakushi, and then we offered it here to the ancestral altar. What I try to do, and I'm learning to develop this more, is when I make that offering, when I offer that tamakushi, so often it's just by rote. Okay, this is what I do. Oh, at least I know the steps, right? I take it, and then I bow, and I place it down, and I clap 4 times, and I can go. But to just take a moment to try to think about the meaning of this, of that ritual, it's our chance and a reminder to connect with our ancestors. Right? In this faith, I think you all know that we believe our ancestors are still here. And so how do we connect with them? This is one tool, one place that we can do it. Our ancestors are, with Kami-sama, so we don't have to be here at church. But it's a chance for us to remember and to try to connect a little bit deeper with those who have come before us. Another chance to pray and to remember Kami-sama's gifts and to try to appreciate life more is the various prayers that we have. And so I try to, before I eat every time, to do the before meal prayer. And so the before meal prayer is on page 16, is it? 20. And so it's a very simple prayer. And I would sometimes recite this prayer as we partake of this food and drink provided by the Divine Parent, let us be thankful and remember they sustain our gift, our life. Let's eat. Does that feel very sincere to you? No. And so I try to do that with meaning. And one of the things I really appreciate about our current prayer book, this prayer book has been through many iterations. And Joanne Sensei, Ari Sensei were instrumental in developing the current translations. Most of these are translations. Denise also. Thank you, Denise. And so as we partake of this food and drink provided by the Divine Parent, provided by Kami-sama, let us be thankful and remember they sustain our gift of life. How often is the first thing after you eat something, you say, oh, this doesn't taste very good, oh, this is bland, or this is too salty. But to just try to view it all as a gift from Kami-sama is what this prayer teaches us. We have another prayer that's I wanted to touch on. It's on page 6 of your prayer books. So this is a recitation of Tenchi Kakitsuke. So Tenchi Kakitsuke, you'll see up on the altar here. It's an English version. Up there we have a Japanese version. And so this is the main prayer, main teaching in the Konko faith. This teaching was passed on to our founder, Konko Daijin, directly from Kami-sama. I consider it a revelation. But the Japanese word is it's very low-key. It's the Japanese translation, I think literally is this is a memo, or this is a note from Kami-sama, very casual. But the top part of this prayer you see in Japanese, and it's very short. So the right-hand side is Ikigami Konko Daijin, our founder. Then the top of the next line is Tenchi Kane no Kami. And then this whole prayer, this quote-unquote core of this faith, is captured in 3 lines. Ishin ni nagae, okage wa waga kokoro ni ari, kongetsu konnichi de tanome. So, wow, that's pretty short to capture a faith. And so the translation, the English translation, and this has changed over the years also, is, look at the first line, pray sincerely. So we're talking about prayer and how we pray with sincerity, with all our hearts. Mean it, be sincere. And then to be one with Kami. So Kami-sama, we believe is everywhere, and we're all part of Kami-sama. How often do we remember that? I think that's where I know I have a chance, an opportunity to get closer, to be one with Kami-sama. And so the way I've seen it described is, if this is Kami-sama, then maybe our founder was like overlapping with Kami-sama. And maybe Fukuda Sensei was overlapping this much. I'm still down here, but I'm just trying to work my way up and overlap a little bit more with Kami-sama in order to appreciate life more.